Chapter 34, but Serafina was the opposite, the situation was completely different. Although at first everyone would feel that her life in the past was not good, lowly, and insignificant, but just looking at her a few times, they would discover that this girl was quite good, very stylish. Moreover, she also had a big family like the Beaumont family as her backing, and the powerful Smith Transportation Corporation. In the next few years she might be the daughter-in-law that all mothers wanted to have. Lily guessed correctly. Everyone had just finished laughing when Mia teased, "Vivian, you are so close to Serafina, be careful that her boyfriend will be jealous." Serafina was stunned for a moment, already having a plan in mind. She didn't rush to speak, but Vivian immediately pouted, "She doesn't have a boyfriend yet." Mia seemed to be teasing her at first glance, but in reality, she continued to press in. "A girl with good conditions like Serafina, why doesn't she have a boyfriend?" "Vivian, I'm afraid she's hiding it from you." The others also chimed in, "That's right, Serafina is this pretty. I heard her academic performance is also very good." The movie Secret Space that Emma filmed last time was written by Serafina. "Emma is so good, Serafina is her good friend, she must be very outstanding." Megan's face twisted, she couldn't get a word in, she even felt like she was being left out, even the daughter she was proud of was being overlooked. Lily was smiling, but her face was clearly stiff. She was so angry that her temples were throbbing in pain. There was something wrong with these ladies' eyes. They were actually flattering Serafina like that. Should she be the background? But what gave her a bigger headache was still behind. Mia rested her chin on her hand and thought for a moment. "My William is 24 this year. He's 5 years older than Serafina. Isn't that great?" Lily almost broke her fingernails. Was William's mother already targeting Serafina? But she calmed down very quickly and glanced at Vivian, who was still dumbfounded and confused. "Humph, taking this opportunity to separate the two of them wouldn't be bad." Serafina pretended not to understand, not having any reaction. She was vaguely suspicious, this was her first time meeting Mia, wasn't this too fast? Thinking carefully, Mia was probably aiming for her dowry. Serafina pretended to be stupid and smiled, not saying anything. In her heart she couldn't help but feel happy and sorry for Lily. The Kensington family wasn't a place she could marry into if she wanted to. Remembering the night before her birthday, she had once told her grandmother, "I can definitely marry into the Kensington family." Now thinking back, what a joke. She glanced at Megan, seeing her expression was also gloomy. The reason was of course because her precious daughter was being ignored. She was originally glaring at her uncomfortably, but when her gaze swept past her, she suddenly had an expression as if she had seen a ghost. Serafina naturally knew who had arrived, smiled discreetly, turned around, stood up and said, "Uncle Samuel Scott, come and sit here." Dr. Samuel Scott walked over, looking at Megan who was pale with excitement. A few of the ladies had grandchildren, and all knew Dr. Scott, and smiled warmly. "Megan, are you and Dr. Scott friends?" Megan adjusted her emotions very quickly, although she didn't know why the man who had been with her for so long was here, she was still tactful and calm, forced a few laughs. "Yes, we are friends. Uncle Scott is very kind." Serafina blinked her beautiful eyes, innocently saying, "He used to come to my house to examine Aunt Megan." The air was cold. Everyone's gazes were both curious and puzzled, neither heavy nor light, resting on Megan. Everyone knew that Dr. Samuel Scott was a pediatrician. Megan was dizzy, she understood very well, Serafina had come to find him. A feeling of despair immediately rose in her heart. Even if today she chased away Samuel Scott, in the future there would still be many other men that Serafina would find. When Megan almost fainted, Samuel smiled innocently at Serafina. "Lily is being naughty again, every time I come I am to examine you. Before, your health was really not good." Everyone around withdrew their gazes. Megan also felt a little relieved. But Serafina indifferently added another sentence, "Uncle Scott, you still don't know. I'm not Lily, I'm Serafina." That year, the two children were mistakenly held. She pointed at Lily, "That's Aunt Harper's biological daughter." After not seeing each other for a few years, a lot of things have happened. Aunt Harper is now the wife of the Ashford family. Samuel Scott, who was smiling sincerely a second ago, was suddenly startled. What? He had abandoned his wife and children for Megan Harper before. After the divorce, he left Dalian for this strange and distant Beijing. When he wanted to marry her, she suddenly disappeared without a trace. Now that he had finally managed to contact her again, had she married into a rich family? His face was as white as paper. Megan trembled, also knowing that she had touched a thorn in his heart. She quickly stood up, smiled at him. Today I want to introduce a few people for you to get to know. Let's go together. His face darkened, but knowing that Megan would definitely tell him what was on her mind, he stood up and followed. Serafina saw that they had entered the small living room, so she quickly found an excuse to leave, and went to find Uncle Winston Ashford. The unexpected thing was, when she said Megan wanted to find Winston, he did not make any move. Instead he looked at her seriously, then meaningfully and kindly taught her, saying that she had to be optimistic, positive, gentle, upright and honest. Megan must have badmouthed her in front of him. And he always used Lily as an example. It could be seen how much he was satisfied with this illegitimate child. Even Vivian was forgotten. She thought to herself, Megan was really smart. She had badmouthed her a long time ago, just to be on the safe side. No matter what she said, he wouldn't believe it. It seemed like the plank had been sailed. Now the best way was to see it with his own eyes. She interrupted his long speech. Uncle, I'm just here to deliver a message. Are you going? He couldn't contain his anger, thinking to himself that rotten wood really couldn't be carved, then stood up and followed her. Unfortunately, after only halfway there, his assistant came to report that the company had urgent business, and told him to go there immediately. She could only sigh. Heaven was helping the enemy. When she arrived outside the small living room door, she didn't know what Megan had used to coax Samuel to be obedient and smile. Megan was quite careful, so she maintained a polite distance from him. Serafina didn't capture any of their over-the-top behavior. However, the words they spoke were already very special. Samuel said, I didn't expect Winston to be Lily's biological father. For the sake of your children, as a mother, you have suffered a lot. Serafina held the phone and rolled her eyes. He was as stupid as a pig. But she quickly understood why his IQ had dropped so much, because, Megan earnestly pleaded, when I was at my most difficult, you were with me through it. There are some things that will never change. She lowered her head. There are some illnesses that only you can cure. Serafina's goosebumps rose up. It seemed that in order to protect the secret, Megan had to continue her career as a prostitute. The beauty was about to lie in his arms. No wonder he was absent-minded. She suddenly had an idea. If she found all of Megan's patrons, they would demand emotional comfort, and she would be busy for 30 days a month. What then? After that, the two of them only talked about boring nonsense. She turned off the camera, saved the file, then found Vivian's phone number and sent it. But as soon as she turned around, she was right in front of Lily, who was looking at her gloomily, her eyes like a wolf's. Lily turned on the meeting women mode. Her face was cold. Theodore is here. It seems like he came to find you. Serafina was stunned. Without saying a word she left. Lily watched her leave fiercely before going into the living room, her face gloomy. Uncle, you go out first. I have something to tell my mother. Samuel had achieved his goal. He also smiled and left. Megan felt that the situation was not right. She stepped forward to ask. Lily sat down and muttered, how do you plan to deal with your previous men? Megan was shocked. Before she could react, she heard Lily sneer, then let me. I'll write down all their names and personal information, bribe, threaten, intimidate, destroy. Her eyes darkened. In short, don't let them say a single word. Megan calmed down, nodded, just do as you say. However, it's actually nothing. Those people are all in Dalian. Most of them are influential people, have families, they don't dare to say it out loud. As for the few like Samuel, I have a way. What way? Lily interrupted impolitely, reluctantly complying for the sake of the overall benefit. Is your brain wrong? You contacted these men once more, and the traces were revealed more than once. Didn't you realize that Serafina had been observing you? Lily frowned in annoyance. Do you believe she can catch you in the act next time? Megan was stunned. Fortunately, her daughter was smart, otherwise she would have brought great trouble. She was furious and cursed Serafina a few times. Lily left. Megan quickly asked, "Where are you going?" Lily rubbed her cheeks that were tense with anger, her face showing a faint smile. "Theodore is here, how can I, as his older sister, not go see him?" Serafina walked into the large living room, only to see a very upset boy standing to the side, scratching the floor with the tip of his shoe. She circled to the side, sneaked closer, and suddenly jumped in front of him. Startled by her, he almost bristled again. She giggled and pinched his cheek. "Did someone bully you, looking for me to avenge you?" Theodore pushed her hand away, glared at her, and didn't say a word. She was surprised, poking his hand. "So annoying, what's wrong?" His eyes wandered away, he ruffled his hair, mumbled for a while then pursed his lips. "I'm afraid Mom isn't strong enough for you to rely on, and let that Megan woman bully you." She was momentarily stunned, her heart warmed, she couldn't help but rub his cheek. "Little Theodore, you're so cute." He winked at her with fire. Did she think he was a piece of clay? "It's okay, it's boring here, let's go." "Anyway, my work is done." She held her handbag, her heart sinking, she couldn't find her phone. Just now, just by touching each other, Lily had stolen her phone? The skills she was good at were really strange.